Hello and welcome back. As always, my name is Laser, and today we are checking out the latest Heroes of the Storm balance patch update. This one is called 19.3. And if you're wondering what happened to 19.2 and 0.1, those were bug fixes. So today we got hero changes. We're gonna jump into Chromie. Slowing sands are mana cost reduced from 4 to 2 per second. Slow increased from 50% after 5 seconds to 60% after 3 seconds. A much needed buff for an underused heroic ability. Happy to see it. Talents level 7 Mobius Loop W. Cooldown and mana cost reduction increased from 40 to 50%. Also on the same tier we got Chrono Sickness E. Slow duration increased from 3 to 4 seconds. Now also reduces the mana cost of Time Trap by 50%. This is 100% irrelevant. If anybody out there has mana issues on Chromie, you're really doing something horribly wrong. So as you can see by these, Blizzard is continuing the trend of buffing underused talents. This for the most part won't change the way we play Chromie. Level 20 Pocket of Time, slow increase from 70 to 80%. This is the upgrade to the Slowing Sands heroic ability. Keep in mind that Pocket of Time also completely removes the mana cost, but I still don't believe this is a worthwhile talent at level 20. Again, this buff won't change that. Past and Future Me, damage reduced from 50 to 40%. Aha! This was and still is one of the best talents you can have at Chromie at level 20. Is the one that creates a little sand Chromie, okay, and then you can combo somebody really nicely. So they're nerfing a quote-unquote meta talent and buffing other stuff which we'll still not pick up, and this again, all of these changes will not alter the way we play Chromie, not at a decent level at least. Falstad abilities, Mighty Gust R. Movement speed initial slow has been reduced from 60 to 40%. Movement speed decay time reduced from 5 to 4 seconds. To be honest, I always saw like the slow effect to Mighty Gust, kind of like a cherry on top if you want to. The strength of Mighty Gust is in its huge displacement effect. The power to disengage on a 60-second cooldown, I believe it's now. It's a decent nerf to it, but somehow I still don't believe this will cause us not to use Mighty Gust, especially not on a competitive level. Mighty Gust is still one very good heroic ability in the right hand, of course. Talents level 1, Gathering Storm Q. Damage per hero hit reduced from 2 to 1.5. So little text, but so impactful. Currently, the preferred way to play Falstad is magestad. There is another way, however, auto-attack Falstad with the Seasoned Marksman at level 1 and so on and so forth. This is a considerable nerf to his damage output while playing magestad. To be honest, this is a tad weird for me because his damage throughput isn't really that high. His win rate isn't all that high and isn't all that low. I felt like Falstad currently is in a good place. I find it weird that they're picking on him a little bit. This change right here, the last one, might mean that we're gonna see a bit more play from auto attack Falstad, and I guess it is a way to get some talent diversity by nerfing the talents we use, Blizz. Greymane abilities, Curse of the Worgen trait, Worgen form damage bonus decrease from 50 to 40%. Last patch in the Gul'dan patch, I gotta go to the Gul'dan patch right now. Several changes were done to Greymane, among which was the increase of the Worgen form damage bonus from 40 to 50. Now we're back to 40%. Also, however, in that specific patch, Greymane got a decrease in basic attack damage in human form. And keep in mind that Worgen form basic attack damage is based off of human form basic attack damage, okay? So keep that one in mind. Go for the Throat R, range reduced by roughly 20%. Why? Why this, Blizz? Why would you reduce the range on Go for the Throat? It wasn't really all that big anyway. And keep it in mind that they re-put this on 40% with the former basic attack damage reduction, which wasn't really all that big for 5%. This does hurt Greymane. Mark for the Kill R cooldown reduced from 50 to 40%. Right, so let's talk a little bit about Greymane. When he came out, ever since he came out, he has been a one heroic kind of guy, okay? Mark for the Kill was never really all that competitive, sadly. It was a time when it was cool, before they destroyed even the cool element. You had a skill shot in a line, okay, if you hit a target, and then you could leap to that target, no damage done, but you could leap to it, and you also get this cool howling effect. You don't get the leap, you don't get the howl. What Mark for the Kill is now on a 40-second cooldown, it's a skill shot with a mediocre range to it, a mediocre travel speed to it, and it applies a potential refreshing vulnerable if you attack the target. And apparently this classifies as a heroic ability. Make no mistakes, my friend. Go for the Throat is still the way to go. And this, coupled with this, oh, sorry about this. These two together, nothing but a cheap shot. Okay, nothing but a cheap shot from my humble point view. Right, so keep in mind that latest in the last patch, in the Gul'dan patch, Go for the Throw got some additional changes. It's got a damage increase, however it got 20 extra seconds worth of cooldown on it. Overall I saw it as a buff, and I still see that change as a buff because it adds to the burst potential of Greymane. Sour taste in my mouth, these changes, but there you go. I do like Greymane, I do like him a lot, so perhaps my view is not completely objective on him. Gul'dan, oh awesome buffs on Gul'dan. So, Gul'dan came to the PTR, he was underwhelming, I told you guys he was underwhelming, and I pretty much told you how it will go down, and sadly Gul'dan came out and his performance, his results were nothing short of abysmal. For about a week he held the lowest win rate in the game, and currently he is the lowest assassin in the game. Only Medivh has a slightly lower win rate than Gul'dan, sadly. Base health has been increased from 1650 to 1700. This is a very small buff to his health. Okay, practically not really all that relevant, and from my point of view, his survivability regarding his base health wasn't really the issue, and a little bit of health regen. Okay, this for the most part sadly is irrelevant. Abilities: Fell Flame Q, damage increase from 181 to 200. There we go. Now this is a very good buff to his Q ability, to Fell Flame. Fell Flame build for the Gul'dan is kinda meh, trust me, it's kinda meh. This will help with that. Okay, nice buff here on Fell Flame. Talents level 1, Chaotic Energy Pass, mana refunded increase from 25 to 40. Irrelevant, you know why? Because Chaotic Energy itself as a talent is irrelevant. This won't change one goddamn thing for Gul'dan. Level 4, Health Funnel W, cooldown reduction increase from 6 to 7. A little bit of something, but again, not really all that important. Level 13, Health Stone active, heal amount reduced from 30 to 25% of maximum health. Are you serious? This is a nerf. This is a nerf on the lowest win rate assassin in game. Wow, very interesting. Very interesting. What can I say? So, no changes to the level 1 talent, which applies the Fell Flame radius, the 10 extra percent. If we could get 20% on that one, then Fell Flame Gul'dan would be most likely a viable way of playing. Currently, we're stuck on playing Corruption, and that's about it, sadly. Okay, that is the build which yields the best results. No change to the, quite frankly, pathetic level 10 Reign of Destruction. I am really surprised. These changes, apart from this, okay, this is a decent change, but apart from these are for the most part worthless. This won't change much of anything for Gul'dan, and from my point of view, he will still remain very underwhelming, which to be honest makes me a tad sad, because he is the boss of the Shadow Council. I know all his lore, and he is one of my favorite lore characters from the Warcraft universe. But rest assured, this won't change much of anything for Gul'dan, sadly. Underwhelming, Blizz, underwhelming. Kael'thas. Abilities: Living Bomb W, damage over time reduced from 50 to 40. It's a balance patch, so therefore a nerf on Kael must exist. I think you guys got used to it by now. They never really got it right with Kael'thas, sadly. He was always super strong or very weak. Currently, Kael'thas still is a very strong pick from my point of view, and this won't really change that much. But how many times, Blizz, must you... Kerrigan. So, after the Gul'dan patch, Kerrigan skyrocketed as being the most viable assassin in game. She's almost at a 60% win rate if you want to trust HotS logs. That is, some changes needed to be done. This was a surprise to most people, myself included, because nothing from the Gul'dan patch notes which applied to Kerrigan stood out as being a huge buff for Kerrigan, but apparently it was overall. Base health has been reduced by approximately, wow, this is big, this is big, this is big. This is almost a 10% decrease. I don't think it's not 10% on the nose, it's more like 9 or 8% decrease in base health. Big deal considering she is an assassin with a rather mediocre to low health pool. Talents level 1, Sharpen Blades W. This has been the most popular option at level 1. Damage has been reduced to from 30 to 25%. Psionic Pulse at level 4. Damage has been reduced to 24 to 20 per pulse. Again, you will see they are nerfing the most popular talents for Sarah Kerrigan. Level 7 Blade Momentum passive cooldown reduction for basic attack reduced from 0.75 to 0.6. This is her version of battle momentum. Okay, this from my point of view is the biggest nerf to Kerrigan, the one at level 7 to her battle momentum. She did need nerfs, guys. Okay, she currently simply is yielding way too good results. Okay, again, almost a staggering 60% win rate overall. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Keep that in mind. Just are these the changes which will, I don't know, bring Sarah Kerrigan back in line? They seem pretty strong. Okay, they seem pretty potent. We're gonna have to give it a week or two and judge there. Again, I avoid judging Kerrigan because I haven't played her in a very long time. Support Brightwing. Now, if we talked about the highest win rate hero in game, now we're gonna talk about the second highest win rate hero in game, Brightwing. Let's talk about what happened to him in the Gul'dan patch. I think this will give you a bit more perspective. So in the Gul'dan patch, they absolutely destroyed the teleport build. Okay, they absolutely wrecked it. They didn't care about it. However, what they did do is buff what I like to call Healbot Brightwing, or Unexciting Brightwing, or Lame Brightwing, whatever you want to call them. Okay, so they destroyed the teleport build for the most part, but they buffed his healing throughput. And this patch, however, heal amount has been decreased on your trait, on your Soothing Mist, by a very, very small amount. Okay, no real big deal on this one. This you shouldn't really be worried about this one. Shouldn't really affect the butterfly all that much. Level 1 on Flirting Spray, range increase on Soothing Mist, however, has been reduced from 33% to 20%. From my point of view, this is a huge nerf on Brightwing. Keep in mind, this was at level 1, and it made your trait, the circle around you, okay, when you can just, you know, stay safe and heal most of your allies, that much smaller. It's a big nerf to Healbot Brightwing. Level 7 Mystified trait cooldown reduction when casting abilities reduced from 0.75 to 0.5, another big nerf to her healing throughput. Level 13 Shield Dust E, ability damage reduction decreased from 50 to 40%. And again, at level 13, this is one of the best talents, if not the best. Yeah, this was the best talent at 13 for Brightwing. Heavy nerfs across the board to the poor little butterfly. These seem a tad extreme to my eye. Okay, these are really big nerfs to her. I still believe that this is a big deal. Again, they nerfed the teleport build, but they buffed the Healbot build, but now they're hitting the Healbot build pretty hard on Brightwing. I don't know what will happen to the poor little butterfly. It doesn't really look good. I just hope she won't be forgotten and not played anymore. Ideally. She's fun to play, but you know how she was fun to play with a teleport build. Now, for the most part, she's mostly Healbot. Specialist Medivh abilities, Portal E. Portals are now easier to click. Hey, only took him a month. The cooldown on using a portal has been significantly reduced. Did you guys have a problem with this? I didn't realize this was an issue with him. Cooldown reduction on using a portal has been significantly reduced. Okay, and then I guess this is more of a bug fix. Nazebo abilities Gargantuan R, basic attack damage reduced from 151 to 130. Now, a couple of patches ago, I don't remember exactly which one, they took away from his Gargantuan's basic attack damage and gave it to the Stomp. Or was it the other way around? Anyway, another nerf aimed in this direction. However, I do not believe this will matter all that much for Nazebo. He will still be a hard-hitting specialist. Xul. Now, I'm surprised to see Xul changes because I thought he was in a good place. Then again, during the Gul'dan patch, I thought Greymane was in a good place and he got changes as well. Raise skeleton trait. Skeleton damage has been reduced from 30 to 23. Now, this is a big nerf. This is over 20%. This is over 20% damage to skeletons, which is a tad weird considering they don't stay alive all that much now, do they? Talents level 1, Shade active. Shade version of Bone Armor cooldown increase from 40 to 50 seconds. And Shackler active, slow amount increase from 30 to 35%. You see a trend here? Yeah. This is the most picked talent and the strongest currently. It's getting a nerf. This one, underused. Nobody really picks up Shackler. It's getting a buff. It's a way, I guess, to get some talent diversity, although a tad cheap. Level 7 Ratma's Blessing trait, healing reduced from 66 to 55. This is a nerf to his sustain. Ratma's Blessing would offer you tons of sustain in lane while you are solo pushing and all whatnot. Very nice talent for Xul, and again another nerf. Level 16 Flowing Wounds, cooldown reduction increase from 4 to 5 seconds. Nah, it doesn't really matter all that much. Level 20 Bone Spear active, damage reduced from 260 to 230. Never felt that Bone Spear did all that much damage considering it's a skill shot, considering the travel speed, and considering the cooldown it has. And then besides, it's a level 20. Didn't you say Blizzard was supposed to be impactful? Apparently you changed your mind. I want to read the dev comments on this one because I'm actually curious. Xul has been a strong pick for a while now and gotten better with the increased power of minions. Alright, this makes sense. Okay, this makes a whole lot of sense. Again, the extra 50% minions do now versus structures. This will add to Xul's power indirectly. Okay, this is legit. We think that someone with the consistent effectiveness he has should also be a bit a little bit weaker overall, since you don't need to worry about what the team compositions look like. Excuse me, what? We think that someone with the consistent effectiveness he has should also be a little bit weaker overall, since you don't need to worry about what the team compositions look like. I will let you guys judge this one. Okay, I honestly don't want to say anything because I'm afraid I'm gonna get into trouble, but please, let me know what you think about this sentence right here. We're aiming to nerf a few of his stronger talents and reduce his pushing potential by weakening skeletons. Zagara, wonderful rework she received in the Gul'dan patch. Let's see the changes. Infested drop E, impact damage has been reduced from 166 to 155. Now, without the level 7 quest talent, this doesn't do all that much. However, when you do get the level 7 quest talent and you complete it, a single infested drop will clear an entire minion wave. God damn. You know, always felt that that's a tad too much, so definitely a nice change to Zagara. Couldn't you change the talent around though? Because normally it doesn't do that much infested drop, and it's hard to hit on heroes, you know. Very hard actually. It's got plenty of time for them to get out of it unless they're crowd control. Anyway, Nidus network R creep radius reduced from 25 to 15%. Okay, we did currently on Zagara you have an easy time to spread your creep everywhere, especially if you go for a more side push build with Nidus network. We'll still be able to have pretty much everywhere we want creep, even with only an extra 15%. It's a nerf. It's not gonna affect you all that much, but we're gonna have to be a tad more mindful when placing creep. But now currently just place creep wherever. Okay, you're gonna have it everywhere anyway, for the most part, that is. Talents level 1, infest active, initial damage buff to range minions reduced from 200 to 150%. Ever since I read the new infest, and especially after playing with it, always felt like it's a tad too strong, and I welcome this nerf right here. Nice balancing work, I think, overall done to Zagara. Nice. Warrior Artanis, health increase from 2245 to 247. We're going back up again in health, Blizz. Didn't you nerf him a couple of patches ago? Anyway, health regen increased from 4.68 to 515. Okay, so it's basically health regen to match the base health increase. Talents level 7, warp sickness E, slow amount increase from 30 to 35. This won't matter for anything, don't worry about it. Now, the way I choose to see this is about a 10% increase in health, but what I see it is more of a 5% increase in health at 50% or lower than 50%. As you should know, Artanis is stronger or at his best when he can make use of his trait, okay, the immortal Artanis. Nice changes to Artanis. I do like to see a buff on him because he's not really a main thing for the most part. Artanis still is kind of a niche pick to be picked up, especially against high AA composition teams. That's it, right? Right, bug fixes. So overall, guys, they're still striving to get some talent diversity out of us. I just wish they would have been a tad more creative than just nerfing what we're using and buffing what we're not using, you know? It's a tad cheap, but that's just my opinion. On Gul'dan, really disappointed on this one. Would have expected something a whole lot more meaningful. This is the only decent change, sadly, that the boss of the Shadow Council received. Alright. And that's about it. Nerfs to Kerrigan are more than justified. Nerfs to Brightwing are justified. Again, she's overperforming, so keep that one in mind. I just hope, again, they didn't overdo it. Time will tell. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about these changes. As always, my name has been Leyzar. Like, favorite channel, subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye, everybody.